Hey Galaventurers, welcome back to the channel. I am here with Bob Wells. Some of you may be very familiar with him. Some of you, this might be a first thing for you. So he is with Cheap RV Living, and he's famous for the RTR, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. Also has just started a 501c3, and I'd really love to talk to you about your new project. Bob, tell us about HOWA, about Homes on Wheels Alliance.
Well, I've had a website for a very long time. I started my website in 2005. And then in 2008, when the economy collapsed, I started getting letters nonstop for the next 2-3 years. People in desperate conditions going to be on the streets, literally. You know, they lost their job, they moved in, lost their apartment, moved in with a relative was tired of them, they're going to be on the street. And that was constant back then. So my website and my YouTube channel are about telling people how to live in their car, their car, van, RV. You would think that that stopped. We're in this great recovery now, right? Everything's great for everybody in the country, except that I keep getting those letters.
Yeah. And
I get letters nonstop. I keep a file in Gmail of sad stories, and it's brimming full. And so I've always wanted to be able to help people, and so we started the 501c3, federally approved nonprofit, with the goal of giving away minivans. And this happens to be the very first minivan that we have bought that we will give it away.
We were under a tarp and the wind was picking it up and rattling it, so we're gonna start from here.
So I get all these letters, people who are in desperate straits. One of the most common letters I get is from older women. They either worked or were married most of their life, and now they have on Social Security and they have virtually no income. In this country, the average person can't live on that unless you own your home. You can't rent an apartment and live on $800 or $900 or $1,000 a month. You just can't do it. Unless you're in a really unusual circumstances, and that's not true for most people. Mm-hmm. So they write me and say, Bob, I have enough money to live on, but I can't, and I've got this car, it's pretty reliable, but man, I don't want to live in a car. And I say, no, you don't want to live in a car. I know people who do it and love it, but right. I don't see how, but they do. So I never suggest people live in cars if they can avoid it. Or they don't have a car at all. Then those are the real heartbreaking letters. People write me, I got this old beat up car, but I would never try and live in it. It'll just break down.
Right.
What they need is a head start. They need to be in a vehicle. So what we're doing is we're trying to provide minivans for people to live in. And we'll have an application process. The more people will apply, then there will be minivans for sure.
So how does someone apply for a minivan if they're in that situation where they're looking at losing their home and are trying to live on Social Security? How do they apply for this? How does that process work?
Well, there is. They'd go to the website homesonwheelsalliance.org, and there is a page with an application. You can download it, print it, fill it out, and send it back. There are going to be hundreds or thousands more people than minivans that will apply. So we are being somewhat obtrusive. I'm not going to deny it, and there are people who will feel like we're being obtrusive. We want to make sure that not only do you need the van now, but that we don't want to set people up so that they come out here and then don't have the money to live on and fail. Because then we've done you more harm than good.
Right.
And we can't support you. So we're looking into people's finances enough to know they need the help, and that in the future they can live on the money they make. So we're kind of obtrusive about it, and we're also asking that people we're going to create an escrow account for all the people who get minivans, and they will be expected to make a monthly payment proportionate to their income. So if all they can afford is $10 a month, then their monthly payment will be $10 a month into this escrow account. And that will be an escrow, so we can't spend it and use it. It's their money, but they can't take it and use it either. We have to do it together. And that will be their future emergency fund.
Great.
Because no one should be out here without an emergency fund.
Absolutely.
That's how people, you hear this terrible stories. They come out here in a minivan they bought for $500. They get it into the next state or two away, and it breaks down, and then they're stuck, and they can't do a thing. They're lost. They're homeless then on the streets. Well, better to be homeless in your home area than out in the middle of nowhere. So we want to be very careful that we're not setting people up for failure. And we want to see, a lot of us don't know how to budget. And a lot of us are in our bad straits because we never learned to budget. And I don't blame people for that. I blame society just does not. They just say, go work hard, spend, go work hard, spend. And we all do that. And then when we're turned old, we've got nothing left because we followed society's orders. So we want to help you set up a proper budget and start saving for your future. Even on $800 a month, you can do it. Absolutely.
And I love that you're forcing that.
Yes.
Yeah, forcing an emergency fund is really smart.
Want it not. And at $10 or $20 a month, it's not going to be a whole lot of money, but we'll be there to support you. Yeah. But we need you to do your part as much as you can. So we just bought one. We're here in the National Forest, a group of us assembling it, putting it together, getting ready to give away. And we paid $2,600. It's a 1990 Ford Windstar. It has 92,000 miles, and it just looks great inside. I think it's going to serve someone really well. We got a mechanic here who's going to look it all over and fix everything that needs fixed. And we put in $400 in tires, new tires. So we have $3,000 in the van. We'll probably put maybe $1,500 in lumber for the build and the solar, and all together, hopefully less than $5,000, between $4,000 and $5,000. We're putting someone in a home they can own for the rest of their life. Awesome. We all just feel really good about that.
Really happy with how fast it's coming together. And
these guys have done an astounding job.
Yeah, they really have.
5 construction days, and it's virtually done. It's livable right now.
No solar yet. We'll get to that on Friday, but yeah.
We ordered the solar off Amazon, and it got here today. Someone's going to drive into town and get the panels, and we'll be ready to install it.
Excellent. So what support does HOWA need? What support do you need? What support does HOWA need to reach the goals that you want to reach?
2 things. We need hands. We just need people with hands that are willing to work, which is just what we're doing right here. We've got all these wonderful people like yourself who are just pitch in, you share ideas, you do something needs to be done, you do it. And so if we have to pay for that, then the costs escalate. We can't afford that. So we need people who will actually come and do a build and get it ready to go. But of course we need the money. I mean, if it's $5,000 to get a van ready to go, and that's kind of the minimum it will be, it could be and up from there, then we need money. I mean, it's just that simple. All these things take money. And if I had my druthers, I would do 10 a month. I'd have vans being built all across the country, ready to be handed out. So we'd need a lot of people. So I have 300,000 subscribers on my channel, and if a third of them would donate $1 a month, and that's really all you'd have to do. How many minivans can we build and give out with that kind of money? And even maybe have to hire someone to supervise it, and maybe a lead carpenter or electrician at each job site, and then just a bunch of volunteers. It can be done. Yeah. And if we were doing that, we could easily be giving away 10 minivans or more, 20 minivans a month. We'd have a huge impact on a huge number of people's lives. We're not asking anyone to make enormous sacrifices. We have a Patreon page set up. If you could go to the Homes on Wheels Alliance Patreon page and dedicate $1 a month, dedicate $5 a month. We probably won't get 100,000. So if you dedicate $5 a month, you could be literally saving someone's life. I get letters, and people thank me saying, "You've saved my life," and they literally mean just that. Wow! It's either a minivan or a cardboard box on the street. And we know which we'd prefer.
Absolutely. And so where does one go to donate?
The website is homesonwheelsalliance.org.
As I'm editing this video, I just wanted to pop in and just issue a challenge. If you are able to donate, go onto the homesonwheelsalliance.org and hit that donate button. And if you do donate, drop a comment down below and let's challenge each other and see how much we can raise together, how much the Gal Adventurers can raise for this amazing organization. Thanks for your support. Okay.
and there's a donate button right there, and there'll be a link to the Patreon page, where that makes it easy, and then you'll get something in return. You'll get Patreon updates and insider information, and so you actually get something in return. I have it. Most creators have a Patreon page. I think I give my patrons $1 a month worth of value, or $5, or even $10 a month of value. So
Excellent.
you get something back for your money. And also, it would we've set up an Amazon wish list. So a lot of the things, we're leaving this van completely move-in ready. Someone will move in, it'll have a mattress, it'll have bedding, it'll have a heater, it'll have everything ready to move in. And that came from the Amazon wish list. So as we do minivan builds, we'll publish the wish list. If you go and buy, you can buy someone a heater, Mr. Buddy, and know they will get that Mr. Buddy.
Absolutely.
You've kept someone warm on a cold winter's night.
Yeah, and very impressed with your subscriber base. Put the wish list out on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And everything was purchased right away, and
Right.
a lot of it came today, and we unboxed it, and it was incredible support from the community.
It really is. You know, we focus so much on the negative about all the bad things. There are a lot of bad things. There's nothing, we can't lie. But there are so many wonderful, wonderful people in this country, and you're never going to read about them on the daily news. They're going to be bad news, bad news, bad news. But there are so many great people with such wonderful, caring hearts, and they want to help. If they can believe in what you're doing, they'll jump in there and help. Look at this. This build is just a really prime example of. This is a great country full of great people, and we lose sight of that sometimes. And I have to remind myself too, but it's really true.
It really helps to travel around to see just how great
does.
people are. I know you guys are putting in a ton of time on setting up HOWA. It's a startup.
It is.
And startups are always time intensive.
Very.
And it's definitely a passion project. And I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it, and thanks for allowing us to participate.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. I mean, you gave some invaluable contributions and just some ideas that will really going to help.
Good, thanks. So tell us your channel, in case they are not aware.
Okay, I'd be glad to do that. I have a website, Cheap RV Living. Mainly, I'm on YouTube, and the name of the channel is Cheap RV Living. And go to YouTube, search bar, type in Cheap RV Living, and I'll come up.
And it will be linked in the show notes below.
Thank you.
So thanks so much. This is Joni with TheGalavan. Enjoy your journey.